You used to stop this world from spinning. Like Superman, you were the only one to find the strength in all that I was dealing with. This life like kryptonite. And if you keep me close, every minute in this hourglass you hold. Oh, 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 and I fall to be right then I'll live to save it. A superhero in your sleep. A superhero in your sleep. You called my soul when I was falling. You moved the cross to stop me from hitting the ground. And every goal there was a meaning. For this love ain't kryptonite. And if you keep me close, every minute in this hourglass you hold. Oh, 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 and when I fall to be right then I'll live to save it. A superhero in your sleep.
What's up, guys? Albatross here. It's been about a week since our last update on the road to 700 gear score. I wanted to share what I've been up to. I've been playing BDO quite a bit this week. My brain has been melting away, grinding for the Ruins piece for the mana pot. We have had some bit of a break grinding Turos with Speedy. Aside from that, that's where we've been living. We've been living in the swamp. We've also been making good progress in other areas. I've begun doing my dungeon runs every week, which has helped a lot with the supplemental silver, especially for the first runs that we've gotten. I made about, I want to say, 2 or 3 bill just from accessories and memory fragments from those runs. Feels really good. I've also been working on getting some free sheet stats from journals and questing. I've completed week 2 of the Barrier of Infestation quest line, so in about 3 weeks we'll be getting an extra AP and a DP by then. We also completed this week the quests for an AP and a DP from Odalita and the Kama storylines, which has given us an AP and a DP bracket, as you can see here. I also want to share a long-term goal of mine that we finally reached, which is 400 contribution points. Feels pretty good to get that little dopamine hit after so long. So last episode we set up 4 main goals. Number 1 was the mana pot. We want to hit Guru Alchemy. We wanted the Gina Crescent to get done, and we wanted to hit Artet Disto and be able to buy that, right? Let's break this down as to what we're doing and how far along we are for reaching these 4 goals. After living deep in the swamp all week, grinding multiple hours a day, we are now at 86 penny pieces. And it just so happens that we finally managed to get the raw drop to happen. After about 20 plus hours of Ruins grinding, it finally happened. Wish it happened sooner, but I'm not going to complain that it did happen before we reached 100. Feels pretty good to actually get the raw drop to happen. And I'm quite pleased with it. The money per hour from trash feels pretty bad, but I must say the amount of Ruins rings we got was quite surprising. It really helped supplement the amount of money and made it feel less like a waste of time. I averaged about 4 pennies an hour and 2 rings an hour, which is definitely not too bad. Could have been worse. But of course, you know, just think if we were grinding at higher value places, that time spent would have been a lot better. But it is what it is. That's 1 more piece down. We have the Narc, we have the Gland. Now we just need to get the piece from the Devar step. Alright, so next is the Guru Alchemy push. Alchemy this week has honestly been a bit of a back burner thing for me. I've not really been going as hard just because I've been grinding so hard for the potion pieces. But we have made some progress towards Guru 1. Since last episode, I've been making the elixirs that go into beast draughts. Let me just show you what we have here. I like to store it up in the north because that's a bit easier for me. Keep it out of the way. Keep it from clogging up the storage. We have a good amount of elixirs. I will probably convert these at some point in the near future into the draughts themselves, but what we're doing right now, we're storing these up for not only our own uses, but probably to sell a bit, depending on how many we end up with in the longer term. The reason as well that this hasn't really been pushed as much is because at this point, we're kind of out of mats. I burned through a lot of what I had saved up over the last several months. So right now we're just trying to recuperate what we've spent. After doing some research, I'm going to start investing in the components that make frenzies, because our plan after we hit the mana pot, we are going to be living in Sakraya for the foreseeable future. I want to get the Abyssal Essence, I want to try to get some Tungrad rings, and that kind of thing. That'll be really, really good. This week we actually finished our Jahina dailies before the Pin Crescent, and we were able to get it tapped. Had a bit of a funny happen, actually. Last video, you may have noticed that I might have misspoke a little bit. I thought that this was going to be a 2 AP increase, but in reality, it was a 3 AP increase, which, with that AP we got from the Odalita quest that I mentioned before, actually gave us a bracket. We're now at 281. Feels pretty good. We're also at 377, which also feels pretty good, but the AP bracket is the big thing. That is really sick. It's nice to start getting some gains this early on in the series. Finally, let's talk about our Tet Disto progress. This week, I think that all things considered, with us grinding ruins so much, we have been making a pretty solid ground towards our goal. Right now, we're at 11 bill. This is about a little under halfway there. Let's look at what Tet Distos are doing. Right. I spelled that wrong. Distortion. Thank you. So right now, yeah, they're sitting around 23 bill. There was a couple that were like down towards like the 22 area earlier this week, so you know, probably somewhere in that ballpark. But with this being 23 bill, we're a little under halfway there. I'm quite happy with that. I'm really hoping that by the end of next week, we can hit around 20 bill. That's what I would like to see. We do have the option to pull down our Garment's Heart pre-order, but that's like our last resort. I really don't want to do that. I want to do everything that I can to make us not have to. Alright, so now we've talked about what last week's goals have ended up looking like. Now let's talk about what our goals will be for the next week. Number one is still the mana pot. This is the biggest thing. I want to be able to finish this up so we don't have to worry about mana, and we can just keep pumping that out for when we go grind areas that will be in for long periods of time, like Sakraya, maybe some Kratuga could happen. I'm not sure yet, but that's, of course, you know, it's a possibility. Just having the mana pot will make it a lot less annoying to grind and not have to think too much about conserving mana, that kind of thing. It'll just be convenient more than anything. Us grinding for the gathering piece last is kind of nice, because it'll give us a bit of a break from just grinding ruins, for example. Get some gathering in, get some gathering XP, which is really good. Right now I'm Master 1 on my Mystic. It'll be nice to kind of bump that up a bit more and get closer and closer towards Guru, so we can get this shorter tap time for Node War. This will net us hards, sharps, and, leading me into my next point, it'll give us Kaffir Stones, or stuff to make Kaffir Stones. And priority number 2 this week will be getting Kaffir Stones. I don't really plan to spend silver on this. Our silver will continue to go towards buying the Tet Distortion Earring, but getting these Kaffirs will allow us to bump up our Libers and our Muskin shoes. A really important thing for me is I want to get C10 Libers so we can look towards getting the upgraded gloves when it comes out with the next region. And I want to get at least C9 Muskins, because we need AP, sorry, we need DP, and we need evasion really, really badly. And this is really important to us because I did some math and I recently realized that once we get 2 Tet Distos with our current setup, I will be losing 12 DP. That is quite a bit. I want to get some Kaffir's levels to kind of offset that loss. With that in mind, our grind for this week will probably focus on places that give us a good amount of Kaffir Stones, which means Jade Forest and Turos, if I can get Speedy to join me, or just another homie maybe. We'll see who's around. But that's the 2 primary things we're going to be doing this week in regards to grinding. We're going to be hitting up Turos, we're going to be hitting up Jade. We're going to be gathering for our last mana pot piece. I'm going to add this in as number 4, because I don't think we're going to be doing a ton of it this week compared to before, but we are going to keep trying to work towards Guru Alchemy. A lot of this will involve pre-ordering mats, or gathering mats maybe, depending on how much time I have. and how much energy I have saved up on my other characters. But right now, Mystic's energy will be going directly towards getting the mana pot piece. Now, to round things off, I did actually get enough Cron Stones last night to go for a Pin Black Star attempt. You saw it at the start. Here it is. Unfortunate. There, of course, still going to be other stuff like practicing PvP and improving the Worker Empire, but we're just going to kind of do that as we go along. My Worker Empire stuff, my life stealing, that kind of stuff might become its own video. I'm not sure yet. But in the coming weeks, we'll see what happens. Hope you all enjoyed this update on the road to 700 gear score. If you have any advice, questions, or input, feel free to let me know in the comments. Remember to like the video and subscribe if you want to follow along on this journey. As always, thank you so much for watching. I've been streaming a ton of BDO lately at twitch.tv/albatrossop. Feel free to pop in and say hi if you'd like to, and I will see you all next time.